It's all in the angle. I'm actually 6 inches taller.
Oh yeah, he got me. So we just finished up our interview. No, I don't want to call it an interview. Our conversation with Mike G, and it was a good conversation.
It was a great conversation. Mike G, at Where's Mike G on Instagram, is a living legend here in Indianapolis in terms of influencer marketing and just being like a generally really cool guy. I've not met anybody who's come into contact with him who has anything but positive things to say about him, and he just spent 2 hours with us overcoming technical issues and us not being completely ready to roll when he showed up at our designated appointment time. Meanwhile, people are paying this dude like, I don't even want to say, people are paying this dude like multiple zero style payments just for a single Instagram post, and he just came and sat with us and shared some of his like vast wealth of knowledge on marketing and creating and entrepreneurship. So
And one of the things he said too when after we got off the air is he said he likes doing stuff like this because he can kind of get his thoughts off his chest of stuff that he's been thinking about. He generally doesn't like to do that on social media, which is cool because people do that a little too much on social media, in my opinion. You know, like but yeah, he great conversation, great points in there. Super smart guy, man. I really liked him. Very respectable. The kind of guy I would look up to in terms of like an entrepreneur and creative, like a dude that just built shit from nothing.
Yes,
awesome. So the conversation went great. We did have a few more technical issues, and we just want to share those because this is something that people might run into if they're doing their own podcast. So. For one, Nick forgot the
shock mount. Forgot the shock mount. That was a zoom in of shame.
Double dose of shame.
That's a good effect. We gotta keep that. Just keep that in the holster for any time somebody makes a boo boo.
Yeah, my arm's getting tired. It's good exercise. So he forgot the shock mount, which wasn't a big deal because we weren't even totally sure it was going to work. Like I covered in the previous FLOG. Was at Guitar Center and couldn't purchase one. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but they were trying to sell me on ones that were like between $50 and $150, and that's not happening. But what we did instead is we used the Zoom just like last time. So we used a Zoom H4n. I was able to score one shock mount, so that was pretty cool. So I got the Zoom H4n, I got it behind a shock mount, which was
pop filter.
Pop filter. Thank you for the correction. I'll continue saying dumb shit like that if somebody doesn't correct me. So yes, this is a pop filter, and it's designed to keep the pops out. So not a shock mount. Anyway, one of the problems with this is that it is a stereo microphone. And it kind of was picking up a lot of that door, and that door is the biggest source of noise right now. So it was actually picking up quite a bit of traffic noise outside, which, you know, I'm trying to have a conversation with this dude, but I also kind of have to be a producer. So I was kind of going back and forth on that a lot. Another thing I noticed too is on this claret, something interesting here. So I plugged the Zoom. Let's see if you can see that. It's got a headphone out, a line out. And I plugged that using an 1/8 inch into the Focusrite claret. Now it's got a setting here, instrument and air. Now the air is like a preamp filter thing that just makes it sound good. But instrument, for some reason, turning instrument on made him sound much more fuller. Much fuller. We also drank some alcoholic Capri Sun, so I'm at least a little woozy. I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, the instrument, for whatever reason, it boosted it up, and I know that the instrument thing is good for like guitars and basses and everything. I didn't think it would have an effect on the Zoom itself, but for whatever reason, like at first, you remember how he sounded like he was real far away. And when I switched that on, it was just like, boom, he sounded just as present as we did. So that might be something. I don't know. I still got more to learn about this interface and like all the different options here and stuff. But Conversation went great. That door's a motherfucker, and it's okay though. It wasn't terrible. It was just noticeable. And ideally, I wouldn't want people noticing something like that, but I kind of expect that kind of out of the beginning. But yeah, super cool of Mike G to come down and hang out with us and spend an hour and a half, 2 hours of his day just bullshitting with two dudes he doesn't fucking know. Like that's the shit. Shout out to that guy. Where's Mike G on Instagram? What's his company again? We
don't run. We don't run. WDRFA. We don't run from adversity.
That's right. That's his clothing company, which is a super cool brand. And Nick Hinton does a pretty good breakdown of his
aesthetic.
Aesthetic, yeah. That's a good way to look at it on the podcast itself. So you got to watch that, but you can't watch it right now, or maybe you can watch it right now. Time's relative. Right now, nobody knows we're doing this.
Are we in the past or the future?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah. We're both. We're eternal. We're eternal beings. All right.
We're gods.
All right. Eternal beings out. Do you have any more to add?
Not a bit.
All right.
A little.
All right. Bye.
Good night.
So while Nick's ripping this tape apart, what we did here, I forgot to share this, is we got a little video tripod to hook it into the Zoom, and we used gaff tape to adhere it to a microphone.
Adhere it really well.
Adhered it very well. He's struggling here. But also, one of the mistakes that we made is we had this on the table, and one of the things I noticed is he was touching the table a lot, and every time he touched the table, I could hear it through the microphone. So I think we may need to stick with boom mics like this that are sitting on the ground. They'll have less of a chance of being interfered. But the other day when we were filming, one of the problems was it was accidentally bumped up against the table. So same thing. Every time you touch the table, you pick it up. So yeah, this is... yeah, that's all I got. Bye.